What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It is James from Cop Logic, and this is your match preview for Liverpool versus Bournemouth. It's match day 5 of 38 in the Premier League. It is at Anfield. It is on Saturday, and it is another 3 p.m. kickoff. Annoyingly, for those UK fans that can't get to the game, it's another one that you're not allowed to watch. But I did moan about that last week, so I won't do it again. Speaking of last week, been a bit of a turbulent week for Liverpool, obviously with the loss at home against Forest, but then a very convincing win in Europe. So it remains to be seen at this stage whether the Forest game was just a blip, was just a bump in the road, a bad day at the office, or is there a little bit more to worry about here with Arne Slot? Before we get into it, don't forget to get your score predictions down in the comments below and let me know as well what you think about my team selection when we get to that in a second. Just on last week, I actually think it was interesting that, again, it was a team that came to Anfield, played a bit defensively, played in that low block, and we struggled to break that down again. And that was a trait that we've seen a lot under Jurgen Klopp, and it makes me wonder if there's a lot of traits still from Jurgen Klopp there. I mean, we didn't really buy anyone in the summer. Obviously, I know we got Chiesa, but how much he's going to really be in this squad, and obviously he wasn't in the squad at all for Forest, remains to be seen. But basically, the majority of the team, pretty much all of the team, it's the same team that Jurgen Klopp had, and I just wonder if in those moments against Forest, they kind of fell back into their old ways. Like, I'm not saying that it was Jurgen Klopp's fault or that Arne Slot should take no blame, but I do wonder whether this inability to break down a low block, surely it can't be a trait shared by both managers. It's just a trait that is team-wide at the moment, and that's something that needs to change, and hopefully will change with time under Arne Slot. I'm gonna put it down to a bad day at the office, but I think that's what makes this game so important, because we'll find out. You know, Bournemouth are another team that Liverpool should absolutely beat. We can see it down there in the Opta stats, which we'll discuss later, but ultimately this is a must-win game, not just because of the level of competition, the aspirations of us as a club, but also to prove, I think, to the fans, for the team to answer back and say that wasn't us that you seen last week, but also as well for Arne Slot to just prove to us as fans that he has got what it takes, and that was just a bit of a bump in the road, and we're going to recover valiantly from that. So huge game, I think, on that front. Before we start, as always, I'll get into the sort of head-to-head stats and details. So Liverpool have won 9 of their last 10 Premier League games against Bournemouth, with the loss being an away defeat at 1-0 in 2023. So again, as per usual with these kind of stats, it's always very heavily weighted in Liverpool's favour. It was last week as well, though, and we've seen what that meant. So history, it turns out, isn't always destined to repeat itself, but these are certainly great stats. When it comes to away games for Bournemouth, they've lost 9 in 10 against Liverpool in all competitions. So Bournemouth coming to Anfield don't typically have a good time. In terms of current form, obviously, we know about Liverpool. It was a solid performance midweek, to be fair, but we know what happened with the Forest game. So Liverpool will be looking to hit back at any doubters and establish that they can be better, and it was just an off day. They could put Bournemouth to the sword in that sense that they want to come out swinging. Like, don't forget, this is the first time they've been back at Anfield since that Forest defeat, and that happened at Anfield, so it's going to be the same fans, it's going to be the same squad wanting to prove themselves to those fans. So yeah, it could be really bad timing for Bournemouth to be coming for Anfield. I'm sure that's how they'll be looking at it anyway, but that's what we want to see. We want to see a response from Liverpool. I do really feel like we can't afford anything other than a win at this point, just to make sure that there are no chinks in the armour, that, you know, we're not going to start seeing the cracks under Arne Slot. Bournemouth themselves, current form, have won only 1 in their last 7 Premier League games. The win actually came this season from the obviously complete collapse of Everton in their 3-2 defeat at Goodison Park, which it ain't all that to beat Everton. Literally everyone that's played them has done that this season so far. So how much does that say about Bournemouth? I don't know. What it does say is, whilst Bournemouth's form is poor, it is a lesson to be learned that you can't relax against them. Everton with 2-0 up. You cannot relax, you cannot underestimate them. They will keep coming, and they will keep striving to get any sort of result that they possibly can from the game. So defensively, Liverpool still have the lowest XG against in the entire league, having faced the least shots out of any team in the league so far. So that's a good stat when you're... So on paper, that's a very good defensive stat, but then Bournemouth have had more shots from outside the box than any other team, which is something they will look to utilise, especially after seeing the way Forest played against us and obviously the goal they scored. And knowing that Liverpool's defence this season has been so solid, I think that's probably going to be their port of call. I think it's going to be very much, it'll probably be similar to the Forest game where they do sit in a low block. Obviously they give Liverpool the possession of the ball, but when they get it, when they break, they'll probably try for those shots outside the area, especially if, and we'll get onto team selection in a second, but it looks like Alisson's not going to feature in this game. On the plus side for Liverpool, in the attacking sense, Mo Salah loves a game against Bournemouth with 9 goals in 9 for Premier League meetings against them. And a little fun fact as well, it was a Premier League game against Bournemouth that probably contains one of my favourite pieces. I'll say my second favourite piece of Liverpool commentary, which is the ho ho ho, it's Mo, which it was an away game, but it was against Bournemouth, and I just love that moment.
Christmas is coming. Ho ho ho, it's Mo.
My favourite being the classic Emre Can, the German man. 9 goals in 9, come on, we're going to see a Mo goal for sure. Right, let's get on to the good stuff. Team selection. In goal, I'm going Caoimhin Kelleher. Obviously, this is because we know about the Alisson injury and he wasn't in training today either, so it looks like he's probably not going to feature against Bournemouth. The caveat is he actually might. Like, they have said that it's a precaution that he wasn't in training today and he may be available for the game, but I'm going to suspect that he isn't because, you know, with no training today, I know there is time. Kind of. Actually, there really isn't time. I think it's going to be Kelleher, but you never know. But let's say Kelleher for now. All right, back four. I'm going with the strongest possible lineup, especially considering that Alisson's not going to be in goal. I don't think it's time to start making changes. We do have a midweek cup game where I think changes will be made. Kostas Tsimikas, despite not being able to shoot the ball, I actually think he played fine midweek, but I think Robbo will return. I don't think Robbo's much better at taking shots than Kostas Tsimikas is, though. I'm going to be honest there, but, you know, I just think with this back four, we kind of know what we're getting. It's the safe option, and I think that's what he will go with. In the defensive midfield positions, double pivot, I'm going Alexis McAllister and Ryan Gravenberch again. Ryan Gravenberch, arguably our standout player of the season so far. I would love to say Wataru Endo will get some minutes in this game, but I just don't see it. With the cup game midweek, I think that's when the likes of Endo and Kwanzaa will get some time. McAllister, I know he could do with the rest. I know there's been some injury worries as well, but I just can't see with the consistency Arne Slot's been playing his team, and when you look at the consistency he put out with the starting 11s of Feyenoord, it just really feels to me like we're not going to see that many changes throughout the season, and this is a very established midfield pair now that we've got in this double pivot. I just can't really see him making the change. If McAllister's fit to play, then he definitely plays for me, but it does worry me. It does worry me, this lack of rotation that Arne Slot seems to persist with, because it will lead to injuries. Attacking midfield, I'm going to Boslai. I don't think he had the best performance midweek, but then he did get the goal, so fair play to him. It gets his confidence up, and what I will say is Arne Slot told him he wants to see more goals in his game, and then he went out and scored a goal, so he's doing what he's told. He's performing as the manager would like him to, so probably Slot is more than happy with him, and he will get the start. I think this is our strongest midfield right now. There will probably be changes midweek. I'm thinking of Curtis Jones is going to come in there and a Wataru Endo somewhere as well. The front three are probably the interesting ones, so let's get into that. Federico Chiesa, I imagine, will be in the squad. Obviously, he was in the squad midweek, and he even got some minutes, but obviously I don't expect him to start. Mo Salah, we think, will probably start every game that he's available for, with the exception of possibly some cup games. But now we have an option to rotate him, an option to take him off the bench when he's got tired legs, and also there is some level of competition there for him now. I don't think Arne Slot will be afraid of benching Mo Salah for a game if he's having bad performances. But as I said at the start, this is Bournemouth. This is Mo Salah, 9 goals in 9 meetings against Bournemouth. Ho ho ho, it's Mo. We want him starting. Left wing, I'm going to Luis Diaz. He was one of the changes midweek for Cody Gakpo. I just think Luis Diaz will be back in. I think that was as simple as resting Diaz, starting Gakpo. Don't think Gakpo was particularly bad or anything, but Luis Diaz is in form at the moment, so I think he does start on the left wing. One of the positive things I will say about Arne Slot, despite his lack of rotation, it does seem to be a system where he rewards players that are playing well and encourages players that are trying to steal that spot to fight for it and show what they can do in training and show what they can do when they get minutes off the bench, whenever that may be as well. So I think Luis Diaz, being the man in form, is the one that starts, and that brings us on to our final strike position. I'm going Darwin Núñez again. This is the same 11 that I picked for the Forest game. It didn't happen. Obviously, we've seen Diogo Jota start there, and I do expect Arne Slot to start Diogo Jota again, based on the comments he made in the press conference that Darwin is looking good, he's looking fit, and he will get his chances. Diogo Jota's in good form at the moment. Those were Arne Slot's words, and that says to me that he's going to start Diogo Jota in this game. I just really think Darwin deserves some minutes. And I also don't think that Diogo Jota is playing at his highest level at the moment. We're seeing him kind of fall away from that. He hasn't scored in the last few games. I think it's the last 3 games, no goal for Jota. Yeah, I'd like to see Nunes start personally, and then you can always bring him off and throw Jota on later. But I'm sure it'll be the other way around, and Nunes will get some minutes towards the end of the game. If that is the case, we have to see Nunes start midweek in the cup game, or I am going to seriously start worrying about Arne Slot's rotation selections, because, you know, he is relying on the same 11 too much for me already, I have to say. I know we're only 5 games in the Premier League, six games total. It's starting to worry me a little bit, because I don't feel like we're seeing enough changes considering the level of players we've got, like Gakpo and Nunes, such little amount of minutes they've got, and then you've got players like Curtis Jones as well, and I know Harvey's injured, but he is another one. And with Endo, who I think played so well last season, for him to basically have hardly any minutes as well, it's a tough one. And I think, like, if he was smart about it, you could make 1 or 2 changes every other game and you'd be fine, but he doesn't seem to make many at all. Anyway, that's the starting 11 that I would personally go for. As I said, I think it probably will be Diogo Jota though, instead of Darwin Nunes. But let me know in the comments what you think about that starting 11. Get your opinions in as well about the sort of Nunes Jota thing. And score prediction before we finish up. Let's look at these up to stats. 76% Liverpool win, a draw at 14%, and Bournemouth at 10%. That is, I'm pretty sure, slightly higher percentages there for Bournemouth than it was for Forest, and as we know, Forest won. I think it's going to be a similar kind of game that we played against Forest, this Bournemouth game. However, what I will say is there are questions to be answered for Arne Slot and for this Liverpool side, so I think they absolutely have to step up. It's a must-win for me. Kelleher being in goal, does that affect the clean sheet? Because originally I had predicted a clean sheet. I mean, this is not me saying I think Kelleher is a bad goalkeeper, but we've needed Alisson in every game we've played so far. He's had a moment in every game where he's saved a great shot, and that does worry me a little bit. Defensively, I think we have been solid, but it's not like we haven't needed Alisson. So I'm gonna go Liverpool 3, Bournemouth 1. That's my score prediction for Liverpool versus Bournemouth. Matchday 5 of 38 in the Premier League. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Get your score predictions in, get your team selections in if you want to do that as well, or just let me know if you agree or disagree with mine. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already. Give the video a like if you do like the content that you're seeing, because that allows me to make more of it. You know, if I get that positive feedback, I know people are enjoying it. It also pushes it out to other people, gets more eyes on it, gets us more subscribers. That's great for us. It helps us grow, and it helps me know what kind of content you guys like and what kind of content you don't like. So give it a like if you can, it's free. And as always, guys, thank you very much for watching. We will see you in the next video. Peace.